In this video, I'm going to be talking about every app mistake you need to avoid. And let's go ahead and start with the first mistake, which is a short onboarding. So, you definitely want a long onboarding, and the reason why is to make the user feel like the app is personalized to them, right? In my case, my onboarding lasts about a minute, my bad, a minute, right? But that's me just speeding through it. Honestly, if you take your time with my onboarding, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes on average. And we can look at some of the questions. So usually you want to start off the onboarding with pretty broad questions from your niche. I ask about your name, your gender. For a little reference, I run a AI weight loss coach as a weight loss app, right? So make sure all the questions do relate to your niche and app, right? But anyways, so you can see the questions are pretty broad. What's your current weight? You can see it relates to my niche. Pretty broad stuff. But then later on, let's skim through. Then I'm starting to ask a lot more personal questions. Like, has your weight caused any health problems? You know what I'm saying? If nothing changes in the next 5 years, how will you feel about your weight? Disappointed, worried about my health, right? You can see it, think of yourself as a therapist, right? The first questions are usually the broadest. You're getting to know the user. But then once you start talking to the person a little bit more, you start asking more and more personal questions. And that's going to make the user feel like you're about to give them some real sauce. The app's personalized to them, right? And after, you ask the questions, then you want to show some studies on, if you don't solve your problem right now, 1 in 5 strokes tied to being overweight, right? I like to call these the scare screens. Being overweight is linked to 13 types of cancer. At this point, I'm reading these, I'm like, what? Like, I'm getting scared. Excess weight linked to 1 in 6 US deaths. Like, I'm getting scared. Like, I really want to fix my problem, but, being overweight. By the way, these are all real studies. These aren't made up. You can search it up. It's down here. But yeah, after showing the scare screens, then, you want to make the user feel committed, and you can do that by getting them to sign their commitment. After they write and sign out their commitment, they're gonna be like, holy smokes, now I'm really into this. Now I'm like, I really want to fix my problem. So by the time you actually show them the paywall, they're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be okay with converting because wow, I'm really scared about my health and my weight, right? And because of that, my revenue jumped up quite a bit and conversion rates also jumped up. But yeah, anyways, moving on to the second mistake that I regret is choosing really bad app ideas. So this is actually my first app idea and it just so happened to, not do bad, right? I got 1,000 reviews and it's made about $13,000. But I made apps after this, which did not do that well. And let's be honest, I made a screen time blocker, and the only way you can unblock your apps is by doing tasks. Which you're probably thinking, you're like, wait, I've seen apps like this. It's not a bad idea. And no, it's not a bad idea. The execution was pretty bad. So basically, it's a screen time blocker, and you can, complete tasks. But basically, it's just a checklist. You could just click on any of these without showing proof, and then boom, you get time back. And that's about it. Not my favorite app idea. I prefer something more like Journey where it feels like I'm really solving a big problem, right? And how I really found Journey's idea was just going on Ron.ai and just scrolling down and trying to find, really profitable apps. You know what I'm saying? And you can even search up different apps. Like the reason why I really did do Journey was because I found Happy Scale on Ron and I saw that I was making 100K a month and I was like, oh my God, I can make my own version of this, right? But if you don't, have any ideas, you can just scroll down and just try to find something profitable. But anyways, moving on. Another thing I really regret is choosing very complicated, app store screenshots. Right now it's super simple, but at one point they were pretty complicated and very all over the place. The reason why I prefer very simple app store screenshots is to really just show what the app even does. Like this is super easy to understand. Your personal coach, boom. Track progress, boom. Get analytics, boom. Stay motivated. Like it's very easy to understand, Like I've seen some crazy, beautiful, app store screenshots, which are definitely cool, but it's just too much going on. I don't really know what the app really does. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit confusing. This, like, there's no confusion right here. Like, this is as easy and as simple as you can get. And you fully understand what the app does, right? So, yeah. Next, The third mistake, or I think we're on the third mistake, is basically making very boring ads. And, what I'm saying,
Why
like,
All American?
I had the right idea right here. This was the first video I really did for Journey, and the idea was just kind of buns. And I'll tell you why. In this niche, um, the videos that do well are basically guides, right? But I thought, okay, maybe I should switch it up, right? What if I, did a commentary type TikTok? And that's basically what this is. It's basically, if you know what commentary videos are on YouTube, it's just a person yapping about a topic, right? And essentially, that's what I thought would do well, even though usually with this cat format, the how-to guides do a lot better. I don't know why, but
By cats.
I
Kitty
had this
drives to
idea.
work. Kitty sees McDonald's. Left after rent,
So I'm
insurance, and
basically just
other
talking about
bills.
like why are Americans fat, which is like whatever. Like people don't watch this cat format to watch commentary videos. They're trying to, get some sauce. They're trying, fix something, right? So then immediately I realized, okay, this is just buns. So then, I immediately made this video, how to lose belly fat fast, the how-to guide type videos, right? Immediately did way better, 500K, right? 4.4 million views. 50K, 200K. You can see they did pretty good, right? It's because I didn't really. The reason why they did better than the first video is because at this point I was just like, okay, let me just do what works. Let me not try to change anything up, right? Because that's what I did the first time. It did not do that well. So I just did what everyone else was doing, but for a different niche. So weight loss. No one was doing weight loss. So boom, and I did that and got 500K immediately, right? And for reference, one of the biggest things when it comes to marketing is the ad format, is the video format, right? The cat format was blowing up, it's still blowing up. And that's another reason why this video really did the numbers it did. And I found this format on Ron.ai. I just went to the marketing tab and I just, scrolled down and I found the format in one of these videos. You can see each video has the view count and you can see how many views that, video format did. This one did 2.6. This one did 33 million, 61 million on Resimi. Oh my god. But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Sidetracked. Back to this. That was one of the things I really fixed. Also, another thing I really fixed is the hooks. I made sure the hooks were a lot more, catchy. Like for example, the
The
biggest
lazy
video,
way to lose weight.
the lazy way to lose weight is a very interesting, strong hook, right? And the reason why is because when you think of weight loss, you think of it being very hard. When you think of lazy, it's obviously, eat something easy. So if you combine the two, the lazy way to lose weight, it's like, whoa, I never thought losing weight was easy. Let me see, let me see what's this video's about. You know what I'm saying? It's just interesting, and people obviously thought it was interesting and blew up, right? Another thing that I fixed was the app promo. I made sure it was very smooth and seamless. Um, and it's something I really did work on. So if you scroll to the very end, the whole video is just a how-to guide basically. But at the end, that's when I got a little saucy, you know what I'm saying?
Food. Kitty doesn't cut out completely because it will start craving it later. Step 4. Kitty then takes 15 to 20-minute walks. And after, it goes on the scale to track its weight with an app so Kitty don't forget the progress being made. Kitty also doesn't.
Boom. Like you see, I was talking about, the last step, and then I immediately transitioned to the app very seamlessly. The key is I didn't talk about the app immediately. I talked about the problem the app solves first. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, yeah, a way to lose weight is, going on your walks or whatever. But after your walks, you should track your weight to make sure not only you're making sure you're actually losing the weight, but to keep yourself motivated. And then boom, you can do that by using Journey. You know what I'm saying? That's basically essentially what I just said. But yeah, the next mistake that you need to avoid is when you run ads, don't give up immediately. Something I've learned is first of all, if you're running like ads, that stuff costs a lot of money, right? So make sure you have the budget for it. If you're trying to spend only like 500 bucks, I've learned through ads that $500 for Facebook or even really sometimes TikTok ads isn't enough. You need to be able to spend, 1,000 plus. Maybe for TikTok it's a little less, but I know for Meta, you definitely need to spend, a couple thousand or 1,000 up, right? If you want to see some progress. Um, and not only that, you gotta be able to like lose money for a decent amount of time and not give up. Because for me, I lost like $500 in the first week with Meta, and I was like, oh my God, I'm just losing money. I just gotta give up. You know what I'm saying? And I stopped doing Meta for a long time until I came back to it, right? And you can see Kalei, they did exactly that. They didn't give up. They just kept going with the ads. They were willing to spend money, lose some money at the beginning, and boom, eventually now they're at 350 ads running. I'm pretty sure most of these are profitable for them. So there is that. But anyways, hopefully you all learned something important, and hopefully you guys know now what app mistakes to avoid. So yeah,